Hi, this is Zach from Worn and Wound, and today I'll be taking a look at the Seiko Presage SRPB43, aka the cocktail timer. So for those who are familiar with the cocktail timer, they'll know that this is actually not the original cocktail timer. The original one was part of the SARB series. It was the SRPB43, which was a Japanese, or at least a non-American market watch, very well liked, very loved for this interesting dial design. A cool dress watch from Seiko, just had a huge cult following. And last year at Basel, Seiko sort of surprised us all by introducing these into the Presage line, which, along with Prospects, they started to bring into the American market within the last few years, which is really cool because I think before that, Seiko's focus in America was very different, and with the Prospects lines and the Presage lines, it really looks like they're paying attention to what the kind of cult watches are these days, and it seems to be doing well for them because they continue to pursue this. So they brought it out and they expanded on the range too. There's versions with some interesting complications in them, power reserve, pointer date, but this one here, the SRPB43, is sort of the classic version. And what really makes this watch stand out is the dial design. So just jumping right into it, you have this incredible dial with a mix of sunbursting, metallic finish, and graining. And it's really the only dial like it that I know of on any watch or any watch series. So for it to be, a Seiko and for it to be a very affordable watch, I think makes that all the more cool. So it has definitely this classic Seiko look. Like if you were to draw from, Seiko, Grand Seikos or whatever from the 60s all the way up, you have that classic mix of Dauphine hands and polished metal. You have these big, beautiful, polished applied indices on there, all just very elegant. And then you have this great dial surface. And, it's one of these really just dynamic surfaces. The light changes across it in like 1,000 different ways because you have, like I said, it's really like several finishes on one. You have these sunburst effect from these sort of wider ripples that happen kind of every minute. And then you have this sub ripple that happens, which is more of a graining sort of a texture, all radiating out from the center. And then that's all on a metallic surface. And this one, and there's a few different colors, also has this interesting, slightly blue tint to it, which is, it really has to be seen in person because it's something between a silver and, kind of a gunmetal, or not even, it's like a silvery, steelish kind of color. It's very interesting, really kind of a unique dial. And it's, it's just gorgeous. There's really, nothing else to say about it. I mean, sure, it's not for everyone, but I think for people who are interested in dress watches and these kind of classic vintage sort of everyday watch designs, this is a truly just beautiful, unique version. This is a dial that, drop it in a $2,000 watch, I think you'd be satisfied with it there as well. It does have a date window at 3 to be expected on a Seiko. So the case is 40 millimeters in diameter, 47.5 millimeters lug to lug, about 12 millimeters tall. It does have a domed hardlex crystal on that, so that does add to the height. 20 millimeter lug. You have this nice kind of flared onion crown here. It has the 4R35 movement in it, so that is hand windable and hacking. Yep, it does hack. So one interesting thing, though, in moving this to the Presage line from the SARB line was that they sort of downgraded the movement from the 6R15 caliber, which is kind of like in the higher range for Seiko. In doing so, though, the price was dropped down as well. So the SARB has a list price of $550, whereas this is a list price of $425. Realistically, though, you can get this closer to $320. So there is a definite savings there, though. You're playing between $300 and $500, whether or not that's really so necessary. The one thing I would say, the dial is so likable on this watch that you kind of can forget it. But if I were to criticize this watch, I'd say that the case is really underwhelming for a Seiko. I think Seiko, for me, I really think about their case designs and their case finishing. This is an all-polished case, which the polishing is just fine, but there's no beveling on it. There's no facets from the side. It's just a very cookie-cutter case, slab sides. It just doesn't do anything special like the dial does. So yeah, it doesn't take away from the dial, but it doesn't have that kind of beauty in the round that you'll see from some of the other lines, some of the sort of quote-unquote baby grand Seikos, et cetera, no kind of Zaratsu polishing and stuff like that. So I'd love to see a version of this that got a little bit more into the case design just to, kind of flesh it out more. The size, 40 millimeters, I think it works here. It is nice lug to lug. I would love to see this in a 38. We recently published something about an Orient Bambino. There's a lot of comments about that being 40 millimeters. And, I think this is sort of in that same camp where this could shrink down a bit to just really kind of push the elegance on it as a dress watch. As it is now, it's a great dress casual watch, but that dial just aches to be like a super elegant, dress watch, kind of surface. So, looking now at the strap it comes on, I'll just be blunt and say I do not like this strap at all. It is a black patent leather strap with dark blue stitching. It is extremely unappealing to me. I would, get rid of this pretty quickly. I guess they're trying to play up that formal feeling to it, but patent leather is just very tacky. I don't know, it reminds me of renting dress shoes or something. It does have a deployant clasp. As you can see here, the way it's installed so the tail comes actually forward, which, is kind of funny. You could probably reverse that if that weirds you out. Either way, I'd be switching that out quickly. I think this would look great actually on a mesh bracelet, so if I owned it, I probably would go that route.